y'all. Hey, welcome back to another edition of Hump Day Wednesday. I am your girl Nik-J, and I'm back this evening with another edition of Hump Day Wednesday. And tonight I'm going to cover a couple of subjects, okay? Three major ones, all right? And we'll start out with the Australian Open. Okay, you guys know I'm a huge tennis buff. And the Australian Open is the first major tennis championship of the year. Okay, and so it's going down in Melbourne, Australia. But you know, this year's Australian Open is a bit lackluster for me. Okay, so it's the first tournament, the first real competition of the new year, and the first major tournament of Serena Williams' retirement. Okay, so typically she's here. Well, this year, not only is Serena absent, Serena's not there. Roger Federer is gone as well. He retired too. Those are the top two. Those two have been the top two most recognizable tennis figures in the last 20 years. Okay, so both of them have stepped down and retired. So there's no Serena, there's no Roger. Also, there's no Naomi Osaka. Naomi was on the brim. Okay, I guess you could call her a tennis superstar at this point. She's won a few major championships. She beat Serena at the U.S. Open a couple of years ago, and she was one of the people who kept her from winning number 23 or 24, whatever, breaking the record. She's tied, but Naomi kept her from breaking it one U.S. Open. But Naomi is expecting, okay? So her and her boyfriend, Corday, they've been dating for a while. And so Corday is like in music. He's a big time producer. He has an album out. The young kids know him. I don't know him so much, but you know, supposedly he's all that. Anyway, they are expecting, so she's not playing in the tournament this year either. And then there is no, well, Djokovic is back. Okay, that's been the highlight. Last year, the Joker was not allowed to play in Australia because of the COVID restrictions, but they have since been lifted. And he has returned to defend his title, okay, because he didn't play last year, so he didn't get to defend it. Well, he's defending his title. And the guy who won last year, he was ousted, I believe, in the second round, who happens to be my favorite, and that's Rafael Nadal. Okay, so Nadal is out. He was out early, so there's no Serena. There's no Roger. There's an early exit from Rafa. There's an early exit from my guy, Francis Tiafoe. Tiafoe is an American. He's an African-American. Family's from Nigeria. But he is an up-and-comer. Been playing very well. I expected a deep run from him, but I believe he lost in the third round. So there's no big foe. He had a nice run at the U.S. Open last year at the end of the year. So then there's Coco, who I was expecting also to get a deep run into this tournament. Coco was ousted, I want to say, in the quarterfinals. So there's no Coco. There's no big foe. No Francis Tiafoe. There's no Rafael Nadal. Yeah, Serena and Roger have retired. So all I have left is Djokovic, okay? And he's probably going to win, okay? No other American women are left in the draw. Our number 3 seed, she was beat in the quarterfinals, I believe, by Azarenka. That's actually who I'm going for. Azarenka, she's an old head. She's been around the game a long time. She's won a couple of championships. She had a baby. She's coming back. She's been coming back. I believe Leo, her kid, is probably like 3 or 4 at this point. Same age as Serena's kid, Olympia. So she's just now getting back into the groove. And so I'm wishing her well. That's who I'm pulling for. And on the men's side, there are some Americans that are still left. So, of course, I'm going for the young Americans. But really, I want Joker to win. I kind of want Joker to win, but I kind of don't want Joker to win because Joker then will be tied with Nadal. And I know he's probably going to eventually surpass him. But Nadal is my favorite, so there's that. Anyway, so that's the U.S. Open. They'll be playing the finals this weekend if anybody's interested. Thought I'd get that out of the way early. But now, I want to get to these NFL playoffs. So my feelings were hurt on Sunday. I was doing the live show with Boxiana, and my Cowboys lost to the 49ers. I didn't really get to see the second half of the game that much, and I'm glad I didn't because there were so many chances for us to win, so I hear. So I'm glad I spared myself watching that and having the angst. I'm ready to move on from Dak. I've been ready to move on from Zeke. I think they both should be let go, and we should start over. That's how I feel about it. I'm over it. I'm so over Dak at this point. Dak is a B-level quarterback. I don't think he's an A-plus quarterback. I think they made a mistake giving him the money that they gave him. I know that's what the market was calling for, but he was not a top market quarterback. Okay? He just isn't. Okay, yeah. And Zeke hasn't been the same since he got his money, since he skipped the line to get his money. And I'm over them. I'm over the both of them. Zeke sitting over there looking like a caveman with black lips. What you smoking, my guy? Okay, you look like you smoke a chimney every day. Why is your mouth so purple? I don't like it. I don't like nothing about it. Cut your losses, start over. We got Aaron Rodgers out there potentially hanging out. We have Lamar Jackson potentially hanging out. Make a move, Jerry. Okay, bust a move, Jerry. Okay, do something. Okay, you made a mistake. Go ahead and own up to it. Admit it. You made a mistake, right? And we're going to talk about folks owning up to mistakes they made, okay? I.e. Shannon Sharp, i.e. Stephen A. Smith. I'm going to get to it in just a second. So, yeah. So now we have in the divisional playoffs, we have 4 teams left. We have Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs going against Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Then we have Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles, going against Purdy. Is that his name? Mm-hmm. Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers. I'm putting my money on Cool Joe. Joe Cool. I love Joe Cool. I love Joe Burrow. I love Patrick Mahomes, but my guy's hurt. Okay, he's hurt, and I think they would have to be at full 100% strength and capacity to beat Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals at this point. They are on a mission. They went up there and dismantled Buffalo like it was nothing. Okay, when I saw the field covered in snow, I was like, "Oh Lord, this is not good." But I forgot, Cincinnati get cold as hell in Cincinnati too. That snow didn't do nothing to them. They wasn't afraid of no snow. Okay, glad that my guy Hamlin is better, up moving around. He was at the game. They were hoping for, an inspirational boost. All of that could have been detrimental to Cincinnati, but they were able to keep their composure, stay focused, and easily win that game. Like it wasn't close, not even a little bit. So I'm nervous for Kansas City. Not to mention, Cincinnati, they've been beating up on Kansas City the last 2, 3, 4 games. 2, 3, for real. Okay, this will be number 4. I don't think Patrick Mahomes has ever won against Joe Burrow. Okay, yeah, keep that in mind. And then we have Jalen Hurts versus backup quarterback. He's a backup as far as I'm concerned. Purdy. All right, Jalen is my guy. If there's somebody that I'm rooting for more than anybody who's left in these playoffs, it is Jalen Hurts. I vividly remember young man leaving Alabama. I vividly remember all the so-called sports analysts who do this for a living. The majority of them wanted this man to not be a quarterback anymore. The majority of them said that, he's not NFL quarterback material. He won't be able to make it to the next level. Who's going to build a team around him? They were saying all the negative things about this young man. However, this guy's from Texas, okay? We breed them special around these parts, okay? He got back in the lab. He went to work. He quieted all the noise, all the naysayers, and he just kept getting better and better and better. And even this year, when they were questioning whether or not it's actually Jalen Hurts or if it's, the team surrounding him that's making them so successful, all that noise was shut down when he got hurt. And we were able to see that the backup quarterback could not command the team the way Jalen Hurts did. Okay, so all of the naysayers who were wishing that young man would change positions and saying that he would not be a good NFL quarterback, you owe that man an apology. Okay. at the very least, say you was wrong about it. Okay. So my picks this weekend are for Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals to defeat the Kansas City Chiefs. And I have the Eagles defeating the San Francisco 49ers. Okay, I want them to meet in the Super Bowl, and I want Jalen Hurts and Cincinnati. Jalen Hurts. See, I'm torn. Kind of want Cincinnati. Kind of want the Eagles. I do want Jalen Hurts and the Eagles to win. I do. I do. I know the Eagles and the Cowboys have a long-standing feud. Shout out to BF. I know you're an Eagle fan and whatnot. But this is strictly about Jalen Hurts. Strictly about Jalen Hurts. But I will say this. I see the eyes of young Joe Burrow. And I see the young Joe Burrow in my mind is ready to step right into that slot that's going to be available when Tom Brady hangs him up. And I'm hoping Tom says goodbye. Okay? You should have came back, Tom. But Joe Burrow can firmly step into that space. Not Tom's shoes, but that space that's going to be open when he leaves. I see that for Joe. Okay? I see that for him. Anyway, so that's the playoffs. Now, I also want to talk about two gentlemen that I have a love-hate relationship in the world of morning show sports talk. And that is Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith. Okay? I don't agree. I say this all the time, y'all. I do not agree with everybody about everything. It is okay to have a healthy disagreement. You know, there really is okay to do that. It really is okay to do that. And so that's the kind of relationship I have with Shannon Sharp, and that's the kind of relationship I have with Stephen A. Smith. Now, Stephen gets on my nerves sometimes, like probably more than anybody, but I still watch him, okay? He still has things that are relevant to me. He still says things that I want to hear, okay? But I'm very critical of them both. I just am. You know, I just am. So Shannon Sharp got himself into a kerfuffle at a Laker game. Okay, everybody knows that Shannon Sharp is probably the biggest LeBron James fan on planet Earth. Okay, so he's on the floor, basically has floor seats, and they're playing Ja Morant and the Grizzlies in the Staples Center. And so, you know, he's on the floor. We all know Shannon Sharp is a shit talking son of a gun. Okay, he shit talks. That's what he does. He does it well. So he's a fan at this point. He's a fan in great seats. And he's jabbing back and forth with one of the players on the Grizzlies team who's trying to guard LeBron James. Now, I do believe Shannon when he says he's talking, and he tells the young man, "Hey, you too small. You can't guard Bron. You know, you can't guard him." He's talking, he's saying it in a shit talking kind of way, but I don't think he disrespected and cussed this man. But the young fella, I guess he felt a way about it. And he decided to respond to Shannon Sharp with an explicit F-bomb. F you, is what he said. Okay, so then, Shannon grown though. Like grown. Like grown enough probably to be your daddy. So why I got to be all that? Why I got to be all that? Why you got to F you too then? And so then it kind of escalated quickly. And keep in mind, this was a huge game, broadcast on ESPN. And so it kind of blew up. Shannon stands up. He's going back and forth with the players. Ja Morant's daddy comes over. I don't know what his deal was. Shannon by himself. He's taking on 2-3 teammates of the Grizzlies. And then here come your daddy. It was just a big mess. Okay, big mess. Didn't have to be that. But folks are really sensitive nowadays. And, you know, I understand that some fans can get completely out of hand and say some really vulgar and wrong, insensitive things. And, you know, but you can't guard him, you too small. I just don't think it warranted all of that. Neither did it warrant Shannon standing up, making a scene, going back and forth with the players. Whatever the case, it happened. No big deal. Well, the weekend happened and festered and went through all the blogs, and it was just a big deal. So Shannon Sharp, on the next Monday live show of Undisputed, he before he made any other statements, he made a public apology to a few people, to the Lakers, to LeBron, to the Grizzlies, to the young man he was talking to. He just made a general, not a general, a specific apology for his actions. His actions alone. Very grown up of him, very mature of him to do, you know? Didn't have to, but he did. I can appreciate that. His co host could probably learn a thing or two about that. I don't think he will, but he could learn a thing or two about it. Okay. So there was Shannon's deal. So then later, earlier this week, Stephen A. Smith, he has a book going. He has a book coming out. So he's making his rounds around the talk show circuit, and he stops by the Sherri Shepherd Show, formerly known as the Wendy Williams Show. But he stops by Sherri Shepherd Show, and she was asking him about halftime of the Super Bowl. You know that he's a sports analyst, so she's asking him about halftime of the Super Bowl. Well, this year's halftime show is gonna be Rihanna. Okay, Rihanna's coming back. She hasn't been on the music scene in a while. Hasn't had any new music. The newest music she had came out with a song on the soundtrack of Wakanda Forever. Okay, that's the latest thing that she's done. Before that, it's been a while since we heard about some new music. She's given birth. She's a new mother. So this is her re-emergence, okay, into the singing entertainment world, okay? Well, they're talking, and Steven makes the comment, yeah, you know, I can't wait to see Rihanna, blah, 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 whatever, Rihanna. But then he goes, but she ain't no Beyonce. Oh, God. So when he said it, I cringed because I knew what was going to follow. I believe Sherri Shepherd kind of cringed, and she tried to help dig him out of the hole that he had just created. Oh, Lord. So I had this conversation and with another black man who is just, you know, first of all, we both have the same sentiments about this generation being extremely sensitive and like you can't say anything. Okay, whatever. But in this particular instance, he was upset because he was like, why come Stephen A. Smith can't say that? What's wrong with him saying that out loud? Hell, she ain't no Beyonce. Everybody know that. Well, my thing was, right, everybody does know Rihanna is not Beyonce. Rihanna is Rihanna. How did Beyonce even get in this? We weren't talking about Beyonce. Why did he even have to include Beyonce in this conversation? Why? Why? Because Stephen A. knows probably more than anybody that once you say something, there is room for a judgment and possibly an attack, depending on what it is you say. Well, Rihanna's Navy is what they call her fans. You know, they are just as persistent as Beyonce's Beehive. So they were very upset about the statement. Like, why did you have to make the comparison? And then the big thing was, oh, he's pitting two black women against each other. Now, I wouldn't go that far, but I could see where the people who was extremely sensitive would say that. And so then my guy who says, y'all just get on my nerves. I mean, black women, you can't tell black women nothing. And so and so, so and so. And I'm like, okay, whoa. So that opened up a huge can of conversation between he and I. Because I kind of felt like, ooh, your tone and delivery is telling me that you got a little resentment because black women got a voice. Now tell me if I'm wrong. And of course, he told me I was wrong. But we had dialogue there, which I thought was a really good dialogue. But then there's the question still left. Black women, do we feel like we can't even be criticized by black men without it being a big deal? Like, why was this such a big deal? It really wasn't a big deal for me. But for so many people, it was like a huge deal. Why did he say that? He didn't have to say that. And no, he didn't. He didn't have to say it. But like the man can have an opinion. You know, let's not shoot folks down for having an opinion. What I would like for us to do is black women. Okay, come close. What I would like for us to do is put all that angst, put all that energy into turning around to these, as 7A calls them, these transformer people, these trans people who are trying to bash Aretha Franklin's Natural Woman song. Get him that funk, okay? Get him that funk. Because what you're not going to do is try to tell me that I'm not a natural woman when I was born with ovaries and you were not, okay? Put that in your pipe. Put that in your blunt. Put that in your drink. Sip it and smoke it. And I will see y'all next Wednesday. Now, what y'all also can do is y'all can leave here and head over to KO Knockout Boxing. I call him KO, but his name is Knockout Boxing 86 TV. Okay, he is going to have a debate tonight that is featuring my girl, my sister, my co-host, my partner in crime, Boxiana the Menace. She's gonna be taking on my boxing husband, BFTV. Y'all, I don't know how to feel about this because I love them both. Boxiana is my best friend, my boxing best friend. BF is my boxing hubby. You know, what is a girl to do? Find out. Go on over to Knockout Boxing 86 TV. Watch the debate with me. I'm going to be in the comments cutting up, acting a fool. Boxiana's going to be on the screen, I'm sure, cutting up, acting a fool. Will she reign supreme? Or will BFTV, the gravedigger, bring his shovel? We shall see. I will see y'all tonight in the comment section. And then Boxiana and I will be back on Friday to give our predictions and our weigh-in show for Anthony Yarde versus Otto. Better be. Okay? I'll see y'all later. Have a good one.